A wood shop can be an extremely hazardous place. Take a look around to see all the hazards, lifting hazards, and fire hazards. Plus, there are slipping and tripping hazards, and hazardous materials that can burn the skin or emit toxic fumes. Sharp and powerful tools that can crush hands and sever fingers. Flying particles that can strike someone in the eye and cause blindness. In a wood shop, danger is always present. To stay safe, you need a plan, just like you need a plan to build a table or a chair. Here's a simple one that you can follow to help ensure your safety when you're working in a wood shop. In this program, we will outline the 6 elements of a wood shop safety plan. These steps are as follows. Dress for safety. Be familiar with safety rules. Handle materials carefully. Use tools properly. Practice good housekeeping. And exercise caution when using hazardous materials. If you believe that you can prevent accidents, you can. Start with a positive attitude. Dress for safety. Never perform a job without proper protection. People have been injured, some seriously, when clothing or accessories were caught in machinery. Others have been injured because they failed to wear appropriate personal protective equipment where hazards existed. To help ensure safety, avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing, neckties, or scarves. If possible, wear short-sleeve shirts or roll long sleeves up above your elbows. Be sure to tuck in your blouse or shirt. Tie your hair back or wear a cap. Hair can become entangled in a cutter or in a rotating shaft. Take off rings, watches, and other jewelry. These too may catch on rotating blades, cutters, or shafts. Wear sturdy shoes with slip-resistant soles. Avoid wearing sandals or open-toed shoes in the shop. If your work exposes you to possible foot injuries, wear steel-toed shoes. Always use personal protective equipment before you start any job. Always wear eye protection. It is essential in a wood shop. In addition, you may need a face shield, respiratory protection, gloves, or hearing protection when performing certain jobs in the shop. Remember, personal protective equipment is your first line of defense against certain workshop hazards. Be familiar with safety rules. Before you enter the school shop, familiarize yourself with general safety precautions. Know where safety rules are posted and study these rules before going to work. If you don't know the safe way to use a machine or tool, ask your instructor. When you work, don't take shortcuts and don't hurry. Remember, an accident may be only one mistake away. If you're tired or feel sick, take a break or avoid working altogether. Machine woodworking should be done only when you feel rested and well. The next step in your safety plan is to handle materials carefully. Routine woodshop tasks such as stacking lumber, lifting heavy materials, and feeding materials into power tools can all pose serious hazards. To avoid injury when lifting and carrying heavy loads, use proper lifting techniques. Bend at the knees to grasp the object, and use your legs to lift. If the object is too heavy for you, ask someone to help. When handling or storing lumber, work carefully. Make sure everyone is clear of your traffic area before you begin to move the lumber. Stack lumber in straight, even piles. Stack shorter pieces on top of the pile. Before using any stock, inspect it for nails, staples, knots, and severe warps. Remove or bend down nails. Cut stock with knots and other defects into smaller pieces with the defects removed. When machining stock, allow plenty of time for the operation. Rushing a job may lead to an accident. Finally, always use safe work procedures for feeding stock into the machine. If you have any questions, ask your instructor or check with the manufacturer's instructions. The next step to safety in the wood shop is to use tools properly. Improper use of tools is a major cause of injuries in wood shops. Power tools, and even hand tools, can be very dangerous and are only safe if the person using them is careful. Always inspect hand tools, including hammers, hacksaws, pliers, and wrenches, before use. Never use a damaged or defective tool. Use the right tool for the job. For example, never use a chisel in place of a screwdriver. Before you use any power tool, make sure you're familiar with its operating features. Study the owner's manual and learn how to operate the tool correctly and safely. Always wear appropriate personal protective equipment while using hand tools that might produce flying debris or be subject to breakage. Be especially cautious when using power tools. The speed of power tools limits your reaction time if you make a mistake. This gives you little margin for error. Before using a power tool, make sure all safety fixtures, devices, and machine guards are installed and working properly. These safety features are there for your protection. Ask your instructor for permission before removing or altering a safety device. Handle power tools carefully. Never yank the cord or the hose to disconnect a tool from an electrical outlet. And never carry a tool by the cord or hose. When using a power tool, keep cords and hoses away from heat, oil, and sharp edges. Keep all people not involved with the work at a safe distance from the work area. Secure work with clamps or a vise, freeing both hands to operate the tool. Keep good footing and maintain good balance. Be careful to avoid the accidental startup of a power tool. For example, do not hold your fingers on the switch button while carrying a plugged-in tool. Disconnect tools when not using them, before servicing and cleaning them, and when changing accessories such as blades, bits, and cutters. And take good care of your tools. Keep them sharp and clean for optimal performance. If you see a damaged portable electrical tool, remove it from service and tag it "Do Not Use." And keep workplace floors as clean and dry as possible to help prevent accidental slipping with or around dangerous hand tools. Another key element in shop safety is the proper handling of hazardous materials. Wood shops are filled with hazardous materials. Glues, paint strippers, paints and finishes, solvents, and preservatives often contain chemicals that can burn the skin, poison the air you breathe, and even cause fires. To help ensure safety, always read the labels of finishes, solvents, adhesives, and other chemical products that you use. Follow instructions for safe use. In particular, pay attention to information about hazards, antidotes, storage, and disposal. If you have any questions, read the material safety data sheet related to the product. The material safety data sheet contains information about the type of hazard or hazards that the product presents, as well as procedures for safe use. Generally, when using hazardous materials such as flammable chemical products, keep products away from sources of heat and work only in a well-ventilated area. Avoid spilling, and also avoid having the skin, eyes, and clothing come into contact with hazardous chemicals. When you're finished using a hazardous chemical, store it in an airtight container away from heat sources. Wash hands thoroughly after contacting solvents and lubricants. Store clothes soaked with chemicals in designated storage areas. Keep flammables away from combustibles such as paper, sawdust, or other waste materials. The final step to woodshop safety is to practice good housekeeping. A cluttered wood shop invites accidents. Spilled liquids, scraps on the floor, and even misplaced tools can pose hazards to everyone working in the shop. To help reduce the risk of accidents, keep your work area clean and neat. Keep floors and machines clear of scraps and sawdust. If you spill something on the floor or see a spill, clean it up before someone slips and falls. Keep your tools clean, oiled, and in good condition. When you're finished with tools, put them away where they belong. Do not leave them lying around the wood shop. Finally, keep in mind that the potential for accidents always exists in a wood shop. To prepare yourself, know where the first aid kit is located and know how to get medical help if needed. Also, know what to do if there's a fire. Don't take chances. If your safety is threatened, get out quickly and call for help. Woodshop safety, just like a woodworking project, takes planning and skill. To help prevent accidents, follow your 6-point safety plan. Dress for safety. Be familiar with safety rules. Handle materials carefully. Use tools properly. Practice good housekeeping. And exercise caution when using hazardous materials. When you've finished your project safely, you can take pride in a job well done.